Hi, welcome to another episode of The Pipeline. My name is Carlos Concepcion, and today I'm very excited to have Ms. Megan Probst, owner of the Probst Group, a compass luxury team that focus on Lauderdale by the Sea and the Fort Lauderdale luxury market. It is my pleasure to have you here today, Megan. Please tell us a little bit more about you and how you started on the business.
Thank you, Carlos, and thank you for having me. Like you said, we've been chatting for probably a decade now. In the beginning of when I started, but my name is Megan Probst. I'm the principal for the Probst Group at Compass. I'm a founding agent for Compass South Florida. It's been a very exciting past 6 years with Compass. We entered the market and we've grown tremendously. But our team specifically focuses on Broward County and Miami-Dade. We specialize in waterfront properties and new development projects as well. I'm actually a native to South Florida. Been here since I was 4 years old. I was born in Jamaica, actually. That's a whole nother story, but my father was a real estate developer. So even though I tried to get out of real estate, it was never on my mind. Always wanted to be a real estate attorney, I think, would have been the main direction I was focusing on. I had a really great experience after 2 years in New York in the fashion industry. And then I had a very positive relationship with an agent. And from that day forward, I got my real estate license and I've been full-time. So that was 2010.
2010. And what an amazing 12 years, I guess, of career, because right now your team is at the top producer, team in your market, in the South Florida market. And, you have gained a lot of insight on the industry and different things that as an agent you can do. I actually have a question for you, and is, when was the time that in your career you saw benefit on going digital? Why not print it? When was that time on the Megan Probst career that you saw, you say, hey, I may want to get a website? Not even with us.
Well, I mean, actually, from the get-go, I was very, very fortunate of course, technology wasn't where it was now, but my first broker, our office was in downtown. He was a very young, dynamic real estate broker. His name's David Gorson, actually. We have a great relationship till this day. But he had a very interesting background because he was a real estate attorney. He had his mortgage background and he was a real estate broker. And he was very young for starting his own brokerage. And our model was really focusing on the University of Miami. And we had a very interesting model where we were working with the parents and the students at the University of Miami and showing them that if you purchase a property, as a freshman, you can build significant equity over those 4 years and sometimes 8 years. And I still have many of those clients to this day that have, instead of wasting on rent, they were able to own a property and flip the property in what the market is now. So we were very young and we were testing. We had actually a website of yours with you Realty Group. So, I think I've always loved digital. I've always loved video. And I'm just excited that it's caught up now.
No, and I know that through, 12 years of career, many things have changed in the industry, and you've seen it all. You have grown your own team to the extent that it is today, and you have, year over year increase your sales and your business sales. So there's a lot of value in what you're saying. And for the viewers that are watching, you have a lot of information. You have been from the technical side to the transactional side, of course, always having the client at the forefront. But on the technical side, what were your main challenges once you went into like digital for the business and a website? And were you ever thought about that the website could be like a potential pipeline for you?
Well, I think a lot of the websites, because I've had several throughout my career, have been more like a portfolio website, So it's just like it's just there so that you just feel like you have a resume and people can search you and it's there. I had no idea the capabilities that you could really have to the extent like now that I have, where you can really target like your objectives and really target the buyers that you're working with I love analytics. I'm a big nerd in that regard. So being able to we're such a feeder market right now. We have, and 80% of my business is a combination of past clients, agent to agent referrals. And then, we have 20% that is on Instagram and digital platforms. It's probably a little higher now from the last 3 months. So I think I didn't realize how, this is where people are searching. The first showing happens online. It doesn't happen inside of a property. And with COVID over the past 2 years, it really has surprised me that we've sold almost 50% of our properties digitally. Virtual showings, virtual tours. So, and I never thought that was really a possibility, but
I think a lot of agents still are not aware of the fact that the internet is a representation. You should represent your business on the internet the same way you have or you do on the physical aspect of it. And you have a lot of experience with other vendors, like you mentioned, and I don't want to go into that, but how do you combine your expertise and everything that you accumulated through the years with these internet leads and with your business in general? Because I know managing all of these tasks at the same time is a lot for a business owner. So what are the best practices for you on your day-to-day that helps you manage your team, manage, the website, the lead flow, your sphere, your social media? How do you handle those tasks?
So, I would say 6 years ago, I was in the middle of my career and I didn't have that excitement. I'm a big passion. I love to see startups have been for me from the get-go, even before real estate. I love to see something and grow and develop. So the market, it was kind of stagnant. It was the same process. The mailers would come in the mail and you would see the for sale sign. And I was just I don't know if this is the career for me. And then Compass came in into the picture, and I started seeing very modern, fresh marketing and digital, and it's a technology firm as well. And the background, the story just called me. And when I went to their headquarters in New York and I saw what they were doing, that they had software engineers, I've never seen a company that actually has floors of software engineers and the top marketing directors from luxury brands that are assisting agents, and then agent experience managers, and the products that they've rolled out in the past 5 years. So number one, I'm aligned with Compass for a reason. I've grown my business every year because of the tools that they provide. But I would say number one is your CRM. Any agent that starts, you actually have a great opportunity to start on the right foot, where you can organize and tag your database, and your CRM is tagged to your website, and it's tagged to everything you do on a digital platform. So we also have a business tracker where I know where our lead pipelines are, similar to the website backend. So I think you need to have a CRM, and you need to be able to track the sources of your leads, and you need to track where your buyers are in the process. Because that's how you know how your hot sheet is, who needs the attention the most, and how you can get them from point A to B, C, D, and then it's the final.
Coming from you, that's extremely important for our listeners and our viewers, because how do you decide what are the right tools? You have such an amazing company that you work with, which is Compass, which is at the forefront of sales and innovation throughout the nation. But at the same time, you're working on your brand as an agent, which is important to you and for your team. And you're providing your agents with these other technology tools that are out there, right?
Yes.
If you were a new agent today, with all of the experience that you have, with all of the vendors that you work with, what would you recommend a starting agent to look for when they're in on the beginner stages of trying to represent their brand online?
Trying to represent their brand online, or
grow their business or increase their...
Yeah, if you're starting off as an agent, you definitely don't do it alone. This is, especially this market right now, I forgot the stats, but it's the top search engine for careers was real estate agent. People think now, because, work from home and real estate is an easy career, it's so dynamic and there's so many steps. I mean, I wish I had this chart that I found the other day, and it shows all the steps that no one sees behind the scenes of working with a buyer or seller. There's so many. It's so intricate. And if you're an agent starting off, align yourself with a team. That was the best decision I made, was really having a mentor who's there for you throughout the steps. Because I learned something every day in this industry. It never surprised. I wake up and I'm like, wow, that was an interesting day, So have a team, have someone who does training and support. And in terms of digital, I would say really be careful with what you put out there, because once it's out in the web, it's there, it's not going anywhere. So really think about who you want to be, like your voice, your brand, like I think a lot of people don't take a lot of time to really say, am I going to be, what's my focus? What's my voice? And then really have a nice mix of content that you're feeding. Not everyone wants to just hear about just listed, just sold. They want to hear more about, which is what I try to bring to the table, is the lifestyle, the developments, really what it's like to live here in South Florida. And I'm obsessed with South Florida. So.
And that's perfect. That brings me to my next question. What is new? What is going on in your market? What are some unique opportunities that the Megan Probst and the Probst Group sees in the Florida market?
So I'm very passionate about South Florida. I love to travel, but every time I come home, there's no place like South Florida. And it's a very exciting time here because it's no longer a heavy focus on residential, development. We've always had cranes up in the sky. Developers have been acquiring land for many years. But now what you're seeing is hospitality groups that are moving here for the first time, that are international hospitality groups. You're seeing hedge funds that are opening offices. I mean, we have Microsoft, Blackstone, they're not only moving the headquarters here, they're moving their entire employee base. So this seasonal market that we once had in South Florida, it's now a year-round, destination and home. We always thought during COVID, maybe this exodus from the Northeast, Midwest was just going to be like a temporary boomerang thing. But a lot of people they're here to stay, and they've moved their kids are in the schools down here in South Florida. They've made friends. They've started to now, let everyone know that they're here in South Florida. And I have many clients who have made that relocation. And then now,
do you see any particular market that is more like propensed to move down? Do you see any spike in activity from any particular market outside of Florida?
So we will always have the Northeast. I mean, that's like, we're the little Manhattan here, especially in downtown Brickell. But I just got back from Boston. We had a really wonderful mini retreat there in Boston. And I was really excited because I had never visited Boston. And we have so many clients, and they're lovely. All my clients from Boston, by the way. You can all come. So Boston, Chicago has been really at the forefront the past year. And then we're starting to see California, which, California was very hesitant for a while. They typically wouldn't make it all the way to Florida, but that's been a strong market. And most recently, Canada has been very, very strong. I mean, they've always loved Broward County, but they're really starting to focus on Miami, Toronto, Quebec, Montreal. So I'll be making a visit, hopefully end of June, to Canada. Never been.
That's amazing, Megan. I want to say that it's been very, very interesting for me talking to you, especially after the amount of time that we have, worked together. And yes. Is there anything else that you would like to share with the viewers that are seeing this show? Anything that you want to share about, any additional piece of information that you want to share with us?
I would just say, right now it's a very interesting time in our market. It's very important to work with a professional agent that has relationships. I'm on the board of realtors for the Miami Association, and we're the largest association with 55,000 members. There's a lot of agents who, they're not full time, so it's very important to align yourself with someone who has the relationships, who knows how to navigate. We have a huge shortage of inventory right now and a lot of demand. So we have a lot of intricacies with the sellers trying to figure out what they're going to do with their properties and buyers trying to navigate this market. So there's a lot of great tools that have been rolled out, to help our buyers and sellers make sure that you do your research. And on the flip side of things, I have to talk about new development in residential. We have incredible iconic projects that are coming, Waldorf Astoria, Cipriani, the Ritz-Carlton. I'm very excited about that. We've aligned ourselves with some of the best developers here. So if anyone is interested in information on new development projects, the next cycle is happening. So let's say by 2025, our skyline is going to look very, very different.
That's extremely exciting for your market. And we're going to share your website link here for anybody that may want to get in contact with you. So again, I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. I can't wait to do this again. I know that we're going to have so much to talk about the next time. But Thank you so much, Megan, for your time, and really appreciate it.